Imagine it's a clear day. Gentle waves lap at the shore. Somewhere in the distance you can hear seagulls crying. Nothing foreshadows disaster. But deep below, beneath the water surface, tectonic plates are colliding with unprecedented force. And this energy, invisible and monstrous, begins its journey toward the shore. In just a few minutes, calm will turn to chaos. Today we will talk about the most destructive tsunamis in human history, about killer waves that not only took lives but also forever changed the landscape and the destinies of millions. Let's start with the tsunami that is perhaps the most famous of the 21st century. December 26, 2004. Morning. Millions of tourists are enjoying their Christmas holidays on the shores of the Indian Ocean. At 7 a.m. local time, an earthquake with a magnitude of 9.1 struck the ocean floor, one of the strongest in the last 100 years. This tsunami was deadly because it affected 14 countries at once. It hit the coasts of Indonesia, Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, and even reached the shores of Africa. In some places, the waves reached heights of 30 meters. But the most frightening thing was the number of victims. According to various estimates, more than 230,000 people died. It was a humanitarian disaster on a global scale. This tsunami changed the warning system forever. Humanity understood what a disaster that knows no borders is.
That wave is a good 15, 20 feet tall. Easy.
Japan is a country that lives with earthquakes. It has one of the most advanced warning systems, but even that couldn't completely save it from the disaster on March 11, 2011. The 9.1 magnitude earthquake triggered a tsunami that reached heights of up to 40 meters in some places. Cities were wiped off the face of the earth. The scale of the destruction was colossal. More than 18,000 people were killed or went missing, and, as if that were not enough, the tsunami led to an accident at the Fukushima 1 nuclear power plant. It became one of the most serious nuclear disasters in history, comparable to Chernobyl. This tragedy showed that even the most advanced technologies are powerless against the forces of nature. Large tsunamis often occur in sparsely populated areas and are less talked about. This was the case with the tsunami in the Solomon Islands in 2007. An 8.1 magnitude earthquake generated a wave of 12 meters that washed away entire villages. For a small island nation, it was a devastating blow. Compared to Indonesia or Japan, the death toll was low at around 52 people. But for the local residents, it was a huge tragedy that robbed them of their homes and their way of life. Now, let's talk about the highest tsunami in modern history. Lituya Bay, Alaska, 1958. This was not a typical tsunami. It was caused not by an earthquake, but by a giant landslide. A powerful earthquake shook the mountainside, and more than 30 million cubic meters of rock and ice collapsed into a narrow fjord. This caused a wave 524 meters high. Yes, you heard right, half a kilometer. Of course, it was not a wave in the usual sense. It was a giant column of water that rose up the opposite slope. Only 2 people died because it was an uninhabited area, but this event has gone into history as the highest mega tsunami caused by a landslide. Our list concludes with a relatively recent tragedy. On September 28, 2018, an earthquake struck the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, followed by a powerful tsunami. This tsunami was unique in that it was caused not only by a vertical shift of the plates, but also by a horizontal one. This led to a phenomenon known as soil liquefaction, where the ground literally turned into liquid mud, engulfing entire neighborhoods. More than 4,300 people died. The city of Palu was almost completely destroyed. This tragedy was yet another reminder of how unpredictable and deadly nature can be.